Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American ESL Pro League. My name is Blue. Joining me here this evening is Megavan, and we're getting into our second match of the night now, which is going to be Enemy GG taking on compLexity. First map getting started right now, and it's going to be on Train.
Yeah, and hopefully this is a little bit closer than the last couple of matches that we had the pleasure of casting, because a little bit of a blowout there. Renegades winning 16-5 on Dust 2 and then 16-6 on Inferno. Against CLG. This time around, it's Enemy versus compLexity, Train, and then we will see both of these teams face off again on Cash. So, little brawl going on in the outside train yard right now in the knife round, but right now it looks like Enemy is out on top, and it should finish out this way in this 3 versus 1 with just Shinobi left alive. So, should be Enemy to start on the CT side, and we'll see whether or not they can do any damage, but they are, well, one more of them is hurt. See if they
what is
Kusta
this?
into this. I don't know. There you go.
Let's say that movement there was like, ooh.
Hopefully it's not things to come. I was actually really excited because earlier today Roka was pretty hyped up because he had traded his knife plus some keys and some skins and stuff, and he got a M9 factory new Sapphire Doppler. And I suggested that he uses the name the Ginger Avenger for it, and he actually used the name, so I'm really excited about that. Hope he gets a knife kill tonight. That would be even better.
All right, well, we're getting started now, guys. compLexity starting off on the terrorist side here. Enemy GG starting off with the CT side. And we'll jump into the first round now. compLexity sending 3 players. Actually, scratch that, 4 players now. Back over here towards Ivy, but there's another big push coming out from Enemy. However, compLexity's players hugging the wall, but that doesn't matter. Uber picking up 1 and 2. Roka and Sangs both go down, looking for some more, but they're going to push back out. Shinobi responding back, shuts down Relic. Dev getting a piece of the action too, as he's going to drop both Uber and Mainline. Lucky elsewhere on the map manages to find Fraud, but that really doesn't matter all that much, because now it's down to a 2 versus 2, and they're pushing into this site. Lucky taking a long-range duel, trying to eliminate some more of these players that are pushing out towards Ivy. But he gives this up a little bit and falls back as the remaining members of compLexity are wrapping back around and to get themselves over here to the inner bomb site.
Yeah, but Lucky is reading this really, really well. He's already in here by the inside train, and judging by where they decide to go, he could be in a prime position to shut this one down. Shinobi right around the corner here. They're going to go to blows. He actually spots him out, so now they know at least that Lucky has gotten inside. He's going to have to bide his time. He doesn't realize that both players are coming from the CT spawn side of things, so Kusta rotating on around to try to give a little bit of support here from Zed Hallway as they work their way back to the outside train yard. So the slow play from compLexity might actually end up biting them in the backside here, as Kusta is going to be right in a pretty good position to stop a plant or at least gather the information that they're here and group up with Lucky for the retake.
But still taking it ultra slow now, and it's all going to be on Kusta to spot the play over here onto the outside bomb site. compLexity basically checking everything they possibly can. They do not want to be surprised here. With the plant coming down, Kusta, will he be tempted to peek? He will. Def having a little bit of trouble connecting those shots. Manages to bring him down to 33 HP, but he gets tagged again. So now he'll be down at 16. And he'll have to fall away to play a safer position. It'll mainly be on Shinobi to pick up some of the bigger kills here. And he's trying to wrap around. Lucky's going to get boosted. He won't be spotting this initially, but as it pushes up, Shinobi given enough time to react to it, but now has to fall away. And he's kind of trapped here too because of that molly placement. So Lucky's actually still on top, but stands still. So Shinobi finds an easy kill. Kusta trading that back out. Now everything falls onto Def. He's hugging this left wall. Kusta's going to push forward, taps the bomb, but he's going to look for the kill sitting over here inside of the Ivy tunnel. And he's going to be able to find it. This defuse going to be a little bit close, but I think he should be able to grab it.
Ooh, it's going to be really close.
Ooh, no! Doesn't get it! compLexity, they're going to steal away the round.
Really, really close there, but yep, like you said, compLexity come out on top. Def was able to eliminate just enough time off the clock for the bomb to explode, so very, very close. Unfortunately, Kusta's not going to be able to pick that one up, and I don't see any investment. There we go. Now we've got an investment coming out. 2 scouts, one in the hands of Kusta, very lethal with the scoped guns, as we all know from his opping skills. And Lucky's going to pick one up as well. Head armor and pistols for the remainder of the 3 players from the enemy side.
And the scout work already starting out for Lucky. Now Dev just continues down the short lane despite being shot once. He's going to get shut down 2 shots in a row, with Roka and Fraud trading out 2 additionals along with Sanks. Picking up a 3rd. Very easy control being gained now with the outside bomb site. And they're just ripping through the remaining members of Enemy. All on main line now as he's going to try to push out the alternate tunnel. Looking for at least one more pickup. Almost finds Roka, but it won't be the case. And 4 members of compLexity will survive this round.
Yeah, good anti-eco from the compLexity side. They only lose 1 player. I believe it was just a MAC-10 that they lost last round as well, and if it wasn't, then they had salvaged whatever rifle that player had. So they go into the next round with 3 rifles again, two MAC-10s to work with, and it's going to be a full save this time around from the enemy side. They do pick up a nade on mainline, probably going to get chucked here towards T-Con, as that was the play from the last round, is just a fast outside hit. And it looks like that's going to be the same thing here, and that nade actually does good damage to Sanks and pretty decent damage onto Roka as well, being that they are armored players, and tapping away is going to be lucky. He's the only one that upgraded his pistol, and he finds first blood. 8 HP left for Def, and 17 for Shinobi, but they're cleaning up the remaining enemy players outside relatively easily.
Yeah, Relics will look to surprise here as he pushes maybe outside of the smoke, but decides against it now as he rolls back around, and they're just hoping to get lucky and maybe run into one of the remaining players here. You've got Shinobi and Def are actually fairly low, so they may be able to find one of them, but ultimately, if they end up dying, it's not too big of a consequence because, well, they don't really have anything, so yeah.
Yeah, set up for some exits here. They know that a lot of damage has been done. And Relic's actually coming around from T-Con. This is the right play. And actually, they're going to be running over towards Ivy. So if he peeks out, he actually spots one. He's going to get good information. He's actually going to hightail it over there. But Uber! Oh my god! He just eliminates 3 of them!
He got greedy, though. He tried to move in there to find a gun. So Fraud's going to take him down. And Relics, I think, is taking this a little bit too slow pace, so he won't be able to eliminate him. And regardless, though, that's some amazing damage done at the end of the round, where previously you were looking at barely having done any, so that's a great shutdown now. As we head into the first gun round, too, and look, it's going to cost enemy so much cash. They actually, on a couple of their players, they're going to be pretty lacking in terms of utility now because of that. That was a great play.
Yeah, so again, into the first gun round we go, mainline with just a FAMAS to work with, but it should be okay. They can already see that it's going to be a fast outside hit, and the nade's doing great damage to start off, even more than the last round. Sank's already out in front of the smoke, and it's going to be a battle with Relics, and Relics loses it. Uber's going to be there to clean one up. Fraud trades back onto Lucky. The blows are coming all over the place right now. Roka finds one onto Uber as well, and we're down to a 2 versus 4.
Instead of forcing up, they're just going to take it light this time around. Are we online?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. We're good. So, moving back into this round, it is going to be a save round. They can hear him moving around at the top side of the ladder and pushing on up. Nicely done. Mainline's going to find the opening blood onto Shinobi and gets an AK for his troubles. And now they're just going to try to swarm this inside train yard. And Mainline actually working his way up towards inner upper. If he peeks out now, he can find the back of a player. That's going to be Roka. Oh, but Roka just turns around and destroys him. Uber, though, does find one. Relic's got on the board as well, and Fraud answers back. It's a 3v2. No Molotov for the bomb, though. So they've got to hunt these kills.
Uber sneaking through with one more, being brought down to a 1 versus 1. Sanks is going to run away, but I think Uber spotted him. So he's going to be on the lookout now, just rushing in to try to get onto a position for this AK at the very least. He doesn't have armor behind it, so it would not be wise to take a duel. He needs to get the heck out of here, because soon Sanks is going to peek and look to take him down. But Sanks himself actually needs to leave this away too, so Uber will be able to trade that out. Finds a free AK for his troubles, but will not be picking up this round, so compLexity still keep themselves in a 5-0 lead.
All right, so far, compLexity skunking the enemy side. 5-0 your scoreline, up into the hands of Fraud, up into the hands of Kusta. And now is where things get fun. See what Kusta can do with the AWP on that outside train yard. We've seen him go absolutely monstrous in some matchups in the past. And see if Fraud can dust the old op off and be very effective with it as he moves forward as well.
And that started off, now those players are getting themselves in positions just up on top of ladder room to maybe make a push towards there, but they're keeping the option alive as well to definitely go for an inner hit. Mainline, he's got to spot this very, very early on. Fraud connecting a first shot, though, managed to take down Kusta. And now Mainline, there we go. You just spotted some of the players in the back of B, but that could very well be to just throw some smokes in and whatnot and get some intel out. So Mainline is going to toss down his own smoke. It leaves him a bit of room, and he picks up a kill with it, but he will be traded out. But you've just dropped the bomb, though, so they know that the play is going to be coming over here towards the inner bomb site. Uber now trying to get himself into a position, but compLexity have already mounted themselves up. They're in that bomb site. They've got the bomb down. Manages to spot Roka moving himself over here to the tanker. He's going to try to bounce a nade. It's a great nade, bringing him down to 57 HP. The rest of the team, they need to push back in here now very, very quickly. They've all got kits, so there's not a huge amount of pressure, but now that they've overwhelmed Roka, seems like it's a bit of a mistake to push forward that far. Now they're going to take down Sanks too. But Fraud, along with Shinobi, still the 2 left alive in a 2 versus 2. As Fraud just basically gets a free kill there on Relic, just walks right into his crosshair, and we can see Lucky is going for the diffuser, trying to spray. The knife is out, but too late. It happened again. Fraud will grab, or will kill him way too late. And we will see the defuse coming up from enemy.
Clutch smoke there. Nicely done, Lucky. Able to pull that one back. but at a big cost. They end up coming out of the round with absolutely no rifles. No players remain alive, so they're going to be fully invested into this round as much as they can possibly get. And you can look at the utility. It's very lacking on the enemy side, so I kind of expect to see a fast strat from compLexity. And you can see they're already filtering in towards Terrorist Connector, and they're just going to make their way in towards that outside train yard once again.
So they're going to push back out. Roka finding... Finally responding back. Really the only player still left in the site itself, just trying to hold up a miracle here, but some good movement wrapping around the smoke. Bomb goes down, tries to retreat back inside the smoke, but finally Sanks gets a lock onto him, takes him out of the picture, combos that into a second kill, shutting down main line, and now Fraud picking up the last kill. There's compLexity right back onto the winning train, finding a 6th round.
I still remember back in the 1.6 days watching Fraud up on train, and he was just an absolute maniac with it. It's good to see him coming back and able to show some old highlight reel style plays. 9 and 3 for him on the scoreboard so far. He's been very effective with the AWP thus far into this matchup, so nicely done from him, and we'll see if he can continue to dominate throughout this one, as he has won the AWP battle against Kusta twice now.
We do apologize, by the way, for the Go TV lag. Currently investigating it. Get you an update soon. But Shinobi and Sanks picking up the first 2 kills. Okay. Pause. A little bit of a freeze. Oh, jumps back in, fights it. Okay, this is not castable.
This is actually crazy, though, because it's come down to a 1 versus 1, and he actually knows where Def is. It's just unfortunate that he hasn't been able to pick up a gun just yet.
And... Lucky.
Ooh, did he actually see him? I don't think he saw him.
Def might take the duel, though. Yeah, Def sees him underneath the trains. I think he's just going to take the duel. When the server actually decides to cooperate with us. There we go. Okay. Def kills Lucky. Big play from compLexity, but ultimately they're still winning by a very large margin.
Yeah, 7-1. Really tough stuff going on there for the enemy GG side, and it looks like we are going to actually have a pause here, so we're going to take a minute and try to figure out what's going on with the Go TV for you guys. We apologize that it's a little bit laggy. It's not the stream that's the problem, it's the Go TV that's the problem. So we're going to look into things and see if we can figure out what's going on and see if we can make your viewing experience a little bit better here. So hang tight, guys, and I believe DJ is going to put on a couple of tunes for you while we wait for this one.
Our backs against the wall. It seems impossible, but there's nobody else I want by my side, standing with me to take this fight through the rise and fall. With our fearless hearts, we could beat the odds, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends if we all go down. If our time is
Ladies and gentlemen, yet again to the ESL Pro League for North America, getting right back into this match here now between Enemy and compLexity. Enemy's on an eco, so don't expect anything super crazy this round, as they're already down to 2 players. But they have a flank position, so Lucky may be able to pick up a kill, but that's not going to happen as Sanks takes him down as well. And Relics, he's also a little bit sneaky, playing over here in the short alley. Finds a good angle to pick up 1 kill. Now Sanks looking for the trade, and he's slowly going to get surrounded. So there we go. Kuroko will take him out, and just like that, compLexity up to 8 rounds now.
Yeah, so 8-1 T-side train, really rough looking so far for the enemy side. And I mean, case in point, Relics and mainline down there at 2-8 and 2-9. You know, they haven't really had an ability to do much so far in this matchup. This time around, Kusta does have the AWP. They salvaged the AWP for Fraud, so he's got that in his hands again. And I mean, it's just been these fast outside takes from the compLexity side. This time Kusta's going to get smoked off on that mid train, and he's going to have to fall all the way back towards CT spawn. So Again, the smoke wall comes out, but they're not biting on it. They actually threw the smokes and came out Ivy, so this is really scary. Lucky's going to get caught out, and they're going to be able to filter on in. Kusta's going to be able to find one, looking for some more. He's going to get a second one as well. Pardon me. No, Uber picked up 2. Relics was in on the trades as well, and it's all down to Fraud in the 1 versus 4. He will fall to main line, so that will be a second round now for enemy GG, but I liked what compLexity tried to do there. Go for that little bit of a main, you know, hey, we're going to come out through T-Con, and then just came barreling out through Ivy.
compLexity easily, though, still has enough money to eat through this going into the next round, so we'll see another full buy from them. And enemy as well, having the response to it. They're back up to full strength here, but on a very, very thin edge. And that consistency pattern now with picking up these CT rounds becomes another problem, because they're risking being reset for yet another time here if compLexity just swing back through and pick up another round. And it's looking like they're going to start things off pretty fast, too. 4 players working their way in through T-Connector, trying to push themselves out to the site. But the last and final player working his way outside of the ladder room. 1-for-1 trade has started off as they get very up close and personal. They're lucky. Should be able to find Zanks out in the open, and he shuts him down. But Zanks and Shinobi had also picked up 2 kills before this, so enemy still going to be down a player. Lucky fighting himself, still hiding in this little bit of a cubby here, takes down Shinobi and evens it back down to a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, and that's actually a risky play. Shinobi actually had the bomb pushing on forward well in front of where his teammates were. You can see Def over here by the ladder room and Fraud over by T-Connector, trying to make something happen, trying to get back in, salvage the bomb, but that's an AWP and an AK versus an AWP and an M4. They drop out a good smoke. That lands over by Ivy's side, but Kusta's going to capitalize on the Def out in the open there by the bomb train, and now it's all down to Fraud in the 1v2. And see if he can bring this one back. Kusta jumping up on top of the train, gets spotted out, and now they're going to know exactly where Fraud is. He's going to have to do something great here, and he's going to hit the first shot. Lucky down and out. It's down on this AWP versus AWP battle.
Plenty of time to play this as well. 40 seconds.
Yeah, Kusta on the backside of the bomb train. Fraud doesn't know, and Kusta capitalizes, peeks out, and wins the round. But again, it comes at a heavy loss. 4 casualties for the enemy GG side, and buying these rebuys is going to be very expensive for them moving forward. Kusta's going to drop an M4 over, but the rest of them are going to be very limited on their utility.
Yeah, they're barely going to be able to afford this. Main line is only sitting on 3,200, so he gets the dropped gun. Uber, we can see, buys, but only has a single smoke to use for this entire round. Relic's in a similar situation. He actually doesn't go for a smoke at all, just picks up the HE. Doesn't even grab head armor. Granted, not really going to be needed when 4 out of 5 of the players on compLexity are using the AKs.
Round. So compLexity on the CT side now, enemy on the terrorist side. And keep in mind, guys, we have one more matchup to go after this is all said and done. It's going to be on Cash after this one between compLexity and enemy.
All right, so taking a look at the buys for this round. Neither team really going for anything super duper surprising, like no super heavy utility setups or anything such as that. Actually, most of these teams are doing something pretty similar here now, as we see the 4 armor setup on both sides of the equation, and also Kusta is just going to go for the smoke and 2 flashbangs to try and make a little bit of noise and get a little bit of coverage over here towards the inner bomb site. But most of the team now starting to work their way over here towards ladder room. It might just be a big explosion out towards here, which could either go really well or really badly, depending on if they have coverage towards it. But now they're going to jump back out, and they missed the initial spotting of it. But Zanks already picking up some kills for his team.
Yeah, he's going to get one. Forced to reload, has to fall back. He's going to try to spam the bomb planter, and he gets him down. So no bomb plant, denied right now. 3-on-3 situation, down to a 2v3. As Relics and Kusta are going to be able to find a couple mainline chimes in on one, and it's down to just Def. See what he can do here. He's going to try to peek out and take down the bomb planer. Again, it's Relics trying to make something happen. Kusta swings, trying to get that last kill. And he does just that. 2 kills on the round for mainline, 2 on the round for Kusta, and Relics with the other one. So enemy GG do pick up the pistol round, and that should give them the tools that they need in order to get themselves back into this matchup.
The question is now, are we going to see the force coming out for compLexity to stop this from happening? And it does not look like it. They're just going to take things very light. P250s, a CZ on Def, and a little bit of an upgrade to when it comes to the arsenal here. It looks like they might go for a bit of a nade stack early on in the round with 4 HEs coming into these guys' arsenals now. It's going to get tossed inside of the T-connector there, but only one of them is, following it up a little bit late with the others, so they won't be able to figure out the exact position of Kusta there, as he had already fallen back into a safe spot.
Very aggressive as Def. He's going to have Uber right around the corner. He's going to peek this angle, but Uber is there. Uber's going to look for a second one onto Sanks. Gets chipped down very, very low, but mainline coming around from T-Con with a teammate, Kusta, trying to find this damage, but Sanks is going wild with the pistol, takes down Uber. And now they've also spotted Shinobi over here in Zed hallway, but he falls to mainline. Relics cleans up Roka, and that's going to be an 8th round now for enemy.
compLexity probably actually going to take the same path here now. If they've saved for that one round, there's no reason why they wouldn't do it on the next one over, as they want to be focusing mainly on that first big gun round there, getting the op investment and everything else they're going to need to try and stop enemy when they get their own big guns. So we'll see the same thing happening, and enemies caught onto this too. So Kusta not even going to fully reinvest into another SMG. He just picks up a Tech 9 this round.
Yeah, no reason not to. No head armor to play with, and we see a Deagle in play. Relics is going to take a little early peek here and flashbang over the top, but look at this. He's all the way out. T-Con, he's going to be looking for this. He's at least just trying to distract for the time being as that rotation goes towards the inside train yard, and Roka's going to get caught out. He does lay a dink out, but he goes down. Fraud does clean up Relics, but in the long run, the ruse has finally been snipped out, but it's too late. Man advantage for enemy GG and a bomb plant inside.
Uber putting himself into a position here too, actually moving away from Z to maybe catch Sanks, but off angle first. Sanks not even given a chance to respond to that. However, as Uber will just dispatch of him nice and quick. And now moving back over here towards the outside of the bomb site. I'm going to check in towards Z, where the final two of compLexity are looking to hold out now.
And Uber, he is just unrelenting right now. He's going to switch over to the Glock, and he takes down Def. 4-man stand here for the terrorist side of enemy. And moving into our first gun round, they're going to go ahead and upgrade. Kusta should be on an op here. No, he goes with an AK.
It's, I think they kind of want to probably test the waters a little bit here first before they really bust that out. Also, when we look at the current money situation, I don't think it would be super advantageous to bring the op in just as of yet, because I think they want to get more of a feel for what compLexity is going to do on the CT side setup before they try to use that.
Fast outside hit from enemy. They're going to catch Death out in the open. They're going to find that opening pick. Fraud down here at Ivy. He's going to get spammed up down to a very low margin of health. 34 for him. Shinobi is going to be able to trade back in, but they have lost 2 players on that outside train yard. Shinobi with another one, though, so it's even back up on a 3v3. And he's going to find a third. Can he get a fourth? He actually dinks Kusta down, and Roka cleans it up, and now it's all left on Lucky. So how quickly the tides have turned.
Good nade connects, brings Roka down very, very low, now down at 36 HP. Fraud's pretty low, just 2 less HP than his teammate. Lucky, he's got all the advantage in the world he could possibly hope for, trying to close it out, and he's going to succeed in doing so. Peeking a 1-by-1, never the formula for success, unfortunately. So a nice 1v2 pulled off by enemy, and now they steal the lead away from compLexity.
Yeah, really nice nice stuff from enemy. Good, just switching up the pace, going very, very aggressive on the outside train yard and getting the early trades. Did come back to that 1v2, but Lucky, nicely done, nicely managed in that 1v2, isolating the 1v1s and capitalizing on Fraud being a little bit sheepish on the peak there at Ivy with as low as his HP was, so good round for enemy.
Roka gets aggressive now towards the back of the B site. Looking to pick up Uber or some of these other players, but they're already aware of a presence from someone back here. Not exactly realizing he might be over there on the upper catwalk, however. So we'll be surprised a little bit, but still no shots connecting, and Roka now needs to get his ass out of here. He's going to run back over towards the inside of the site. Gets a little bit of support from Def, where in the meantime, Kustin mainline is executing players on the outside bomb site. Sanks the only one left here, and touchdown. Kusta takes down Sanks. Now look at full control, an easy plant being rolled in, and Kusta's just going to move out to look for these 2 final kills. However,
yeah, he's going to get caught out. Lucky's going to get chipped away a little bit here, but that nade. See you later, Roka. Now it's just down to Def, who's stuck over here in the Zed hallway, and Lucky's going to find that kill as well. 2 more for him on the round. And he's starting to creep back up to join the rest of his teammates on the scoreboard. You can see right now it's really kind of been the Uber show. 24 and 15 for him. He's having himself a little bit of a match here.
an enemy holding very, very good control of things on the T side, whereas compLexity have really yet to find themselves with really any surmountable advantage here after switching sides, looking very grim to say the least for the CT side. So enemy just goes for the default setup yet again, moving three of their, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it default, but three of their players moving back over here towards Ivy now to make a push in this direction. Fraud has to try and hold this off on his own, and there's really not anyone near him to support as well. So if all three of these players decide to push in at once, then it's going to get rough, because the nearest player to help him out would be Sanks, and he's actually pushed like halfway up the site right now, watching for the push in from T-Con. They're expecting it to be heavy out there, so Fraud's going to be under a lot of pressure if everything stays the same right now on enemy setup.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing. He's going to take a more passive angle here on Ivy, so let's see where they decide to go. But they've got one player already down here in ladder room. They've got one primed and ready to come out T-Con. That's going to be Relics, and now they're going to go for the peek out. Uber's just testing the waters right now, looking to see if he can find anything. Oh, he didn't spot the alt barrel here of Def. Does he see it up there? Oh, no, he doesn't see it fast enough. Relics does go down. Oh, Def hits a nice shot again. Fraud finds one with a Molotov, but he does go down to the hands of Mainline. It's going to be a 2 versus 4.
And now Lucky and Kusta trying to make the best of a bad situation as they move in together outside of Ivy. They haven't been spotted as of yet, and 35 seconds on the clock. compLexity just have their players stuck in like a line right now, making sure that they can rotate into wherever this play decides to work its way towards. But they haven't been spotted as they push their way through the back of the A site. I think they're just going to sneak through CT and make a play for Inner as well. And this could work out great because right now they're expecting it to come from back of B, which is going to be a big mistake. These 2 kills could just be free. Yeah, they need to start pushing in very quickly, and also need to be cautious of Def. 10 seconds left. They're still moving way too slowly. They don't even have time to kill these players. They just have to push onto the site. Lucky moving in. No, he's not on the site. He doesn't have enough time. Lucky thought he was on the site, but he was just a little bit off. So unfortunately, it's going to cost them the round. And compLexity will finally pick up a round here for this half.
Yeah, he couldn't make his way on in. I think he actually got a little bit body blocked by the player that was in the smoke with him and didn't actually get as far into the site as he thought he was. That's really unfortunate, so...
Alright, so a little bit of a bump in the road there for Enemy. However, still with enough money to go for a pretty confident buy, having won 5 in a row, and some of those being pretty clean at that. But compLexity now, with a little bit more fuel to buy up here too. So... Enemy won't be in the clear just as of yet, just purely off of the gains they've had coming off the previous round victories.
Very spread out here on the terrace side. You can see 2 of them working up Ivy right now. Looks like they're going to go for a boost up over top of the smoke here and try to find Fraud behind this. Fraud's standing stalwart right now. He's not giving anything away. Go ahead and drop a smoke out or a flashbang. He didn't peek behind it, which is the wise decision. And Molly comes out through Ivy. It's going to prompt a return Molotov from Fraud. And Def actually rotates over a little bit closer to help support him over on the Ivy hallway, but the bomb's slowly creeping its way towards the box halls. So we might see a late Inner hit here from the enemy side, but they're wasting a lot of time off the clock so far.
And again, that was the problem in the last round, was they wasted down way too much. They just weren't able to make the take happen, but it's time it's solidifying itself around the back of the B-bomb site. Getting ready to push its way in. And it'll be on Shinobi along with Roka to hold this. Both of them very close together, too.
Fraud's rotated inside as well, so they've got a lot of defense here.
But they've left Ivy open, so Lucky can just walk right in and catch these 2 players on a flank.
Uber opens things up, does find that frag onto Roka, so nice entry from him. Those deep smokes in the inner upper is definitely helping out a lot with that. Def goes back into 1, but Kusta picks up 2. Sanks is going to be able to find 1. And Fraud coming around from the top side is going to be able to eliminate Mainline. Now they've got these post-plant positions. They do have a Molotov on Uber, but he has to stay alive. And Lucky, oh no, he gets flanked out. The flank gets flanked!
And Uber just gives himself away. The Molly's down, but there's still plenty of time left, so this Molly's going to go away and they can safely defuse it.
Yep, they do salvage the AWP for Def for the next round, or Fraud, depending on who they want to give that to. Def was actually, it's kind of interesting because Fraud holding on Ivy, you would expect him to maybe have an AWP over in that area, but he's been playing that with a rifle so far, and they've been using Def as the AWPer in the CTZ hallway, so interesting little bit of change of roles here onto the CT side. Fraud was the main AWPer on the terrorist side and was doing it very, very well. This time around, it's going to be Def on CT.
And their battle remains very, very close now as compLexity. They've strung 2 together. They've retied the game, and Enemy are at risk of now losing their lead, and to a certain degree, their economy here, too, with it being as low as it is now. A couple of their players are bought out. A couple are still would be able to force up in the next round, but that's a very limited pool. And Def, he's already going to start things off with a nice pick, manages to shut down Relics as he gets way too aggressive in an attempt to push himself out towards the outer site.
Yeah, now it's just going to be a hit towards the inside train yard. Roka has already smoked things off. The AK spam already going through. Roka is in a great position up here on top of the train. He's just going to barrel on down. Denies the plant. Denies a second one, and it's all left on Uber. And Roka is going to at least drop him down to 6 HP before he's eliminated. Not a whole lot that Uber can do here because the cavalry has arrived.
Also, no Molly this time, too, so we can't just hold back the time and toss that onto the side at the last moment. So everybody from compLexity just going to slowly creep forward. They're even watching out for him to do exactly what he's doing now, which is wrap back around and potentially try to pick up a couple exit kills on the site. He knows he's outmatched, so he's going to move away now and try to just find... and try to save this gun, mainly. But actually, they're still taking their time, as we can see now. They're not going to be hunting him down just as of yet in Uber, mainly just going for the save.
Well, there's no reason to hunt. The economy
Yeah.
on the complexity side isn't stable whatsoever. I mean, the rebuys are going to be enough to keep 2 of the players low again. Sanks is probably going to drop a gun over to one of his teammates, and maybe Def will too. But I mean, the economy is in shambles on both sides. Enemy might know this and go for a force up in the next round. But honestly, I can't really say that enemies should go for a buy in the next round. They should probably play it safe. 13 to 11 looks a lot better than buying in the next round, losing, and then going down 14 to 11.
We'll see. It'll be a pretty tough decision, if I'm completely honest, because some of their players are still going to be, like, you can see it now.
Yeah, Lucky's got 6,000.
Lucky's got 6K. Relics is 4.4. Acoustic can still sort of buy as well at 3.2. The only really gun they would have to drop would be on mainline. So, yeah, it looks like they are going for the decision to sort of force things up here now. Mainline just going to take a Tech 9. The rest should be able to get full guns, though.
Surprisingly enough, this isn't actually a bad investment from them. Lucky only picks up a flash, so he's going to at least keep a little bit of money in the bank. Pardon me, no he's not. My overlay was not updated at the time, so I had to go back in and look at it manually, but $50 left on him, so they're fully bought out here on enemy's side. And what's good about this, though, is if they lose this round, the money bonus is starting to ramp up, so they'll have a very healthy next buy round. Oh, but that's not a way that you want to start it.
That's like the second round now where Def just picked up a kill to start off the round yet again. So Uber trading out one here, managed to take down Fraud, but they know exactly where he is, so as he falls away, Relics, oh my god, everybody's missing their shots. But Shinobi's gonna be able to take down Relics as he's completely blind. Uber finding the headshot there to take down Def. Way more trades than definitely should have happened there at the end of that round, so they get some good damage onto complexity. However, they're still ultimately going to lose the round. Now they're in a position where they most certainly cannot really afford to go for a full buy at least. And complexity, not necessarily stable as of yet, but they're looking much better off now with a 2-round lead and a couple players in a safe position.
Well, it's funny, you talked about Relics not being able to connect his spray, but that he actually got annihilated by a flash thrown by Uber.
Yeah.
Down Ivy, because he was trying to get himself out of dodge because he had all that pressure from the Opper and another player with a rifle over there. So he bombs a flash out, and Relics was on a great flank. He would have killed both of them, guaranteed, if he didn't get flashed. So just really unfortunate timing there. So we do see a pause coming out. Complexity, they've been able to string 4 in a row. You can see the economy very low on the enemy side, but one save here and they should be back in the wheelhouse trying to make something happen.
Yeah, so enemy just trying to figure out how exactly they can surmount a comeback now that they've started off so well, but complexity have really pieced together their own CT-sided setup now, and they've figured enemy out. So enemy, a lot of the tricks they were using to pick up rounds at the beginning of this map, just not working anymore, and they're constantly losing the initial 1v1, which I think is putting them behind by quite a bit as well. Like I said, at the beginning of that last round, that's like the 3rd round in a row now where Def has just picked someone off immediately with that op. So they need to stop that. They need to stop a lot of these other factors too. Ivy pushes have been pretty pitiful from the guys on enemy. They've always been losing at least 1 or 2 players if they've gone for a bigger push there. So they need to sit back now. They are going to try to force this up yet again now as they go for the Tech 9 armor buy. But we'll see exactly what type of strategy they'll be employing, because they do bring in a lot of utility to this buy too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They've actually bought out again. They're really counting on getting at least a bomb plane out of this round. At least a bomb plane out of this round. The money bonus is going to help them a whole lot moving forward into the next one because it's going to be maxed out. But, I mean, this is a big risk from enemy right here.
And they're taking it down on quite low on quite a few of their players now. 4 out of 5 are below $1,000. They will have the full losing bonus, so this is essentially going to be an attempt to surprise complexity, try to pick them off, and sort of rebalance the scales in their favor. As we were mentioning before, complexity are not necessarily stable just as of yet themselves, so they want to try to stop that and pick up a couple free rounds off of the saves from complexity.
Trying to see where did Kusta throw that smoke? That actually landed all the way out by Ivy, and that's going to allow Relics to barrel on out and pick off Fraud, but they're not accounting for Shinobi. Shinobi's going to come around. He's going to be able to pick off one, does good damage to a second one that's lucky, and Roka's going to be there for the cleanup. So he shuts that down.
Now they can rotate towards the inner too, because that movement pattern they were going towards, they know for sure that it's going to be happening towards the inner bomb site. So they get here actually a little bit late, so they will still be able to escape with the plant, but another nade touches down there, brings mainline down to 61 HP. Kusa's been hit with a couple shots too, so he's at 78, and now he's dead, as Sanks eliminates him. So main line's up on top. He has the molly, but I think they just threw a smoke over it, so the molly's going to be useless. And there we go. The realization, so pitiful. And Sanks will even shut him down as he attempts to peek to compensate for that.
Womp womp.
Pretty
So
much.
14-11, they do go for another full buy, but this is the scenario that I was talking about before by going for that 4-sub 2 rounds ago, is they end up losing 13-11, and then they fully invest basically into the next round buying Tech 9 and head armor with utility behind it. And now you can see Kusta, he's got an AWP but no armor, and he's only got a smoke to work with. So really kind of reeling right now, and it's fraud at the end of Ivy again to try to hold this off, and he should just be bombing out of smoke. And yeah.
So enemy with the slower setup yet again now as they try to just weigh their options in, looking for that early kill. They almost find it against Fraud. He's brought down extremely low, just 3 HP left alive. And while he's
I don't
abandoning,
know how that didn't kill him.
he's abandoning the cause completely. Now Ivy's wide open for the most part. They'll move Sanks into cover for it, but he's gonna have to play to a very safe spot now.
Yeah, he still drops another smoke out, which is smart, so that's going to hold him at bay for a little while longer. And look at this push Shinobi up in T-Con. He's going to get found out by Lucky and not the damage he was looking to have done. So they go aggressive onto Ivy. They try to return that by Shinobi pushing T-Con, and he gets paid and dividends by Lucky.
So now enemy, they found a little bit of something to start themselves off with. Now it's about capitalizing upon this and getting into the fight with the bomb. So Roka's still playing over here towards Inner pretty heavily too as he sits behind the plywood stack. Just going to smoke off a ramp, but they're definitely committing themselves towards the A-bomb site now that Ivy's been pushed for free. Sanks trying to hold things up, but he'll get flashed, has to give this away, and now Def getting in the action, picks up an up kill over on towards Uber. Relics trading that out. The ladder push starts to roll its way in, and Kusta just wraps all the way around to the other tunnel, shuts down Fraud. And now it's down to just 2 left alive. Roka just now gets in position on the ladder to try and line up a flank. Peek out. Relics should be there behind the E-box, but he doesn't notice them, so Kusa's going to open fire, and Relics finds the peek, takes down Roka. Def, nothing he can do at this point, but he's also stuck inside a Z. He can't necessarily peek, so they're going to get aggressive against him, but that costs Kusta his life.
Yeah, and that's a very expensive investment to lose right there. That's the AWP down. They should be able to salvage it at the end of the round, so it's not going to be too terribly big of a loss. But, yeah, just kind of a risky peek that they didn't really need to take. Of course, they do want to get the guns out of the hands of compLexity. They don't want Def to go into the second half with the AWP because he has been wreaking havoc on them outside. I mean, this was another 2-kill round for him. He's gotten 2 or 3 kills in the past couple of rounds, you know, double kill rounds, triple kill rounds, and things like that. So he's really come alive here on the CT side. He didn't really do too terribly much on the terrorist side, but now he's 22-17, so he's right up there. Uber's still leading the way at 29-20, but you know, enemy GG, they pick up another round, so they're chipping back into this one. And if compLexity lose this, it's going to be a save, maybe even a double save, as they are very low on money.
That's crazy to see Uber like up that high with Kusta being so much lower on the scoreboard. Like normally when Uber's on, it's like Kusta's pretty close, but right now like Uber's just like completely outclassing the rest of the team in terms of frag potential. So that's a rare sighting right there.
Yeah, and he's typically an entry fragger as well, so they're going to push in though. They're going to meet this off head on. And they're going to meet their demise.
It's a bit of an awkward shuffle from enemies. They actually try to get themselves into this room, so Def has plenty of warning that the play is going to be rolling its way into here. Now the question for enemy is, do we continue onwards? Because Kusta and Relics got hit pretty heavily by that HE too. Now they're down to 57 and 64 HP. And they know they're working their way in towards this site, and so they can have rotations ready to go. And that's exactly what they've done now. Def's actually going to move off the site, thinking that they've changed their mind and gone towards A, but Shinobi is much more committed inside of Z too, so he's ready to wrap back in.
Yeah, and out come the smokes, out come the flash. And we're going to be looking for this execution right here, right now. But they're actually bailing on the inside train yard, and they're going to go back down through ladder room.
compLexity have not figured this out as of yet, though, and even Relics is going to push in, but he gets wrecked by Def, shutting him down through the smoke. Good timing there from Def to pick that shot up, and now Kusta finding the entry here, and they're already taking a lot of control of the outside bomb site, but they drop the bomb itself. They haven't spotted Lucky pushing all the way through just as of yet, so he's going to get an advantage here, trying to take down Shinobi, but Shinobi, good covering his teammate there, is able to take him down before he's able to do any damage, and now Kusta doing some work, picking up 1 kill, but he's found out in the open by Fraud, which gives compLexity the round. Now they're only 1 more round away from closing out this first map.
Really nice recovery from compLexity. Really nice read on that as well. I mean, they over-rotated to the inside train yard, but Def he was privy to the whole thing. He went back outside. He actually dropped the bomb carrier, getting that pick onto, I believe it was mainline. He was coming around through backside of E-Box. So good read from him. And that was another, that was actually a triple kill round for Def. So he's up to 25 kills now. Like I said, this man has been an animal here on the CT side so far.
Enemy players, once again, now just sticking themselves together as they don't really have a whole lot to bring to the table in terms of rifles this round. Everybody just moves themselves to the back of the B site. Roka catching one of them as he got aggressive over there towards upward. Actually doesn't even move away, too. He's still sticking around. Gonna re-peek it, doesn't spot the players, and taking the duel versus Mainline. Oh no, he just lost the bomb! Mainline was the last player in. Lucky's gonna move in to retrieve it, but Roka takes him down, too. Now he's trying to get out of dodge. The one tap to end it. Takes down Uber. And that's going to end it on map number 1. compLexity shutting it down.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff. Roka taking matters into his own hands to close out that map. And like I was kind of talking about before about Def stepping up on the CT side, he was 11 and 10 moving forward through terrorist side. CT side, he went 14 and 8. He had 2 3-kill rounds and 3 2-kill rounds. So massive, massive half from him, upping the whole way, 123.6 ADR. That's average damage per round. So he was averaging 1.25 kills per round, essentially. That's an insane amount of damage that he was doing.
All right, so some big stats for compLexity, and now we'll see how this carries over towards map number 2, guys. It should be coming up in just a little bit here. Stick around, and we'll be back with more of the ESL Pro League for North America.
Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck. What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!
Bye.